Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a while since I made a map backstory, but today we are back with one of the brand new DLC maps called Artifact, and quite honestly, this may be one of the most interesting maps we've ever looked at with the backstory, because this one doesn't really revolve around the specialist characters or the overarching story of Black Ops 4, even though we will talk about that as well. However, this one actually revolves more around zombies, and I'm not going to go out and say I'm a zombies expert, but I did a bunch of research for this video, and I think I have a pretty good idea of what we're looking at on this map and can explain what is going on the map Artifact. Now guys, if you do enjoy these map backstories and want to see more of them, the best way to show me is by hitting that like button, because the more likes this video gets, the more likely I am to continue the series and make more like it. So all I ask is if you enjoy, please hit that like button. And then the other thing I wanted to tell you about is, of course, it is Monday, and that means that we will be live streaming. It'll be the first link down in the description. It should start around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're at all interested in my live stream, you want to play some Call of Duty Black Ops 4 with me, it'll be the first link down in the description. And as I said, it should start right around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, without further ado, let me shut up and let's talk about Artifact. So, as far as Artifact goes, this map takes place in Iceland, and I do have to say, this is probably one of the most beautiful maps that we have in Black Ops 4. The difference between the icy area and then green with geysers is really incredible. I think they hit the head on the nail with that one. But as far as what is going on this map, that is something else altogether. This map is an archaeological dig that has been paid for by a mystery person. And as we can see here, the company working on this is called Aaron Johnson Archaeology. And throughout this map, there are several important things found, one of which that we can see here is a body. You can see the skeleton of a body that has been uncovered from the archaeologists. But that is not the big thing that the archaeologists were looking for. Clearly, going here, they had something very important in mind, that is, of course, the Odin Statue. Now, we know this because inside of the command post, or the tent, whatever you want to call it, there is a bunch of different blueprints of the Odin Statue, of the layout of the land circling the position that the Odin Statue is in, and all of these things. It is clear that the archaeologists were here to find this. The question is, who hired the archaeologists? Now on the map, when you're checking out some of the archaeological equipment, you may notice the same logo a few times. Now, this logo right here is for the Museum of Unnatural History. This same logo is also on the blueprints that we saw earlier, as you can see in the top right-hand corner here. So this may have something to do with it. Personally, I've never seen this logo before, but it may have something to do with zombies that I don't know about. So if you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments. Now, the interesting thing is that who is ever paying for this archaeological dig, they are not the only people who want this statue. The reason why we know this is because right at the beginning of a game on this map, you can see an attack helicopter come in, blow up the pipeline, and then start shooting at who is ever on the map. It is very clear that multiple people want this same statue. And to be quite honest with you, there is no way for me to definitively say who these people are, but based off of what we have saw on previous maps, I have a pretty good idea. Generally speaking, based off of what we know about the Black Ops 4 story, there is two characters who generally want this kind of thing. The first of which is Savannah Mason, who we've seen a lot from. The second of which is Raul Menendez, who is working in opposition of Savannah because of Project Blackout, and they end up turning against each other, but I've talked about that in many videos. Anyway, they work against each other. Now based off of the information we've learned from previous maps, we know that it's not Raul Menendez paying for the excavation. The reason why we know this is because on previous maps like Icebreaker, when he does this kind of thing, he actually works with Russian companies. If you didn't know, Raul Menendez can actually speak 3 languages: English, Russian, and of course Spanish. So because of this, he has decided to work with Patriots of the North and specifically Russian companies. Now on the map Artifact, as we can see, all of the vehicles have English writing on them, and on top of that, when you hear someone talking over the radio, they're speaking in perfect English. Which would mean the person running the show here is probably Savannah Mason. So my guess is that Savannah is paying for this venture, for this archaeological dig, and then Raul Menendez comes in, shoots up the place, and tries to steal the statue from under her nose. But speaking of which, we haven't even started to talk about this Odin statue yet. So the Odin statue is found in the icy part of the map, and once you go there, you can kind of see it. It's half uncovered, and this is probably the most interesting part of the map for a few reasons. First of all, the statue actually talks. Now, I'm not going to lie, I tried to figure out what Odin was saying here. I tried it in a couple of different languages. I tried writing it out and try rearranging the letter. I tried everything. I have no idea what this thing is saying. It sounds to me like he's saying Sacra Sociata, which I don't know what that means. So if you have any ideas, if you speak another language and can understand what he's saying here, I would love to hear what he's actually saying down in the comments below. You can go back, listen to that a couple times. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And if it's important, of course, I will make another video on that altogether. Now, as far as the Odin statue goes here, if you are a Zombies player, you probably recognize this. And that would be because in the Chaos Story Zombies maps, this is one of the perk statues. The Odin statue is one of the statues where you go pick up a perk from and then you have it for the rest of the round. Now, the question is why is one of these perk statues in Iceland? This is the big question of this map, the thing that pretty much everyone doesn't understand, so that is what I am going to address today. Now, one theory as to why this is here is that this is actually going to be a future Zombies map. This is the kind of teaser to the next Chaos map. Even though that they said that they were done with the Chaos maps, maybe it's for Black Ops 5 or maybe some sort of Zombie Chronicles DLC. Now, that's not what I personally think. I personally have another theory. Now, looking at the Chaos Story maps, all of the maps are very far from Iceland, and because of this, it would make it impossible for a statue to be here. However, one of the maps is a little bit of an exception. That map, of course, is Voyage of Despair. Now, if you don't know anything about zombies, essentially Voyage of Despair takes place on the Titanic. And the Titanic is obviously a boat that sunk a long time ago. In fact, it sunk in 1912. And of course, since it's one of the Chaos maps, there's also an Odin statue on the Titanic. So a boat that sunk, but the question is, how far did it sink from Iceland? The answer to that is a really damn long ways away. In fact, it sunk, the closest land mass to it is Halifax, a place in Canada, and that is pretty damn far away from Iceland. But it is still possible that the Odin statue ended up there. After the ship sunk, the Odin statue could have started floating around in the ocean, and I actually went ahead and started looking at charts of ocean currents just to see whether or not it would have been possible for the Odin statue to go from where the Titanic sunk all the way up into Iceland. Now, it is actually very possible. As you can see on the map there, the Titanic kind of sunk where the Labrador, Gulf Stream, and Atlantic Drift all mixed together. But if the Odin statue was to be in the Gulf Stream, it would then get pushed into the Atlantic Drift and up towards the Norwegian current, which could potentially push it on shore on the western side of Iceland. So we don't know where in Iceland this takes place, but if it's the western side, it could all make sense. Now, what doesn't make sense is when we look at the Odin statue here, it is frozen into a glacier. That takes thousands and thousands of years. As we know, the Titanic sunk in 1912, Black Ops 4 takes place in 1945, so there's not enough time for it to be frozen in that much ice. So it leaves us with two options. Number one, this is the Odin statue from the Titanic. When the boat sunk, it dislodged, got stuck in the Gulf Stream, and brought all the way up to Iceland. It's an incredibly far journey, an incredibly unlikely journey, and it would be incredibly rare for that to happen, but it's possible. Option number two is that this could potentially be a teaser for a future version of the Chaos Story in Zombies. And I'm really interested to see where this actually goes, if it goes anywhere. And as I said before, if you guys have any idea as to what the Odin statue was saying when I played it for you guys there, so if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know down in the comments, message me on Twitter or anything like that. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of Artifact. It is a dig site that is brought forward by Savannah, currently under attack by Menendez, with a secret Odin statue that appears to be related to the Chaos storyline in Zombies. So guys, as always, if you enjoy these type of videos and want to see more, please hit that like button as it shows me that you enjoy this type of thing. Also, like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, the best way to stay up to date on all my videos is make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
Listen.